Ben Reilly is Peter Parker. At least, that's what the comics tell us. Sometimes. It gets a bit confusing, but what you need to know is that Ben Reilly in the comics is a clone of Peter. But here's the thing, the Spider-Noir you've been watching for the past 6 hours, that's Peter Parker too. Just this time, he's not a clone. Instead, he's a man who came back from war, a completely different person, and changed his name to leave the old him behind. And the show actually confirms this. A man named Freckles shows up, someone Peter knew from the war, and Freckles mentions, almost in passing, that had Peter not changed his name, he would have found him sooner. That's it. No big reveal or dramatic music. Just a single throwaway line that confirms everything. So what happened to Peter? And why, out of every possible name combination, does he call himself Ben Reilly? Spider-Noir isn't doing the clone thing. He calls himself Ben Reilly to distinguish himself from who he used to be. And the name means something to Peter too. It comes from the two people Peter loved most, Ben for Uncle Ben and Reilly, Aunt May's maiden name. Two individuals who shaped Peter Parker more than anyone else up until this point in his life. So his name's different now, but he's still Peter Parker. Right? Sort of. Peter Parker is more than just Peter. He's also Spider-Man. Just like Spider-Man, the spider climbs walls. He can shoot webs, but yet he's different. Like he's constantly missing something. Sure, he's slower because of his age, but he's struggling with life. Is it the war? Is it years of being the spider that is finally catching up on him? Or is it because Peter has been actively trying to suppress who he really is? Even the way he dresses tells you everything you need to know about him. No spandex or bright colors. Just a trench coat, a hat, and glowing eyes. He's not trying to be a superhero, he's really just trying to disappear. And in 1930s New York, it's the perfect place to do just that, because noir does something really specific to a character like Spider-Man. It strips everything away, a broken man in a broken city that's even more broken than he is. The Depression era is the perfect backdrop for someone who came back from war with nothing left. Everyone around him is struggling, everyone has lost something. The spider fits right in. This isn't the Spider-Man who swings between skyscrapers cracking jokes. This is a man who has seen too much and sadly lost too much. This Peter is broken. He feels guilty for simply surviving while others around him keep dying. And none more so than the woman he loved. Every Peter Parker loses someone. That's just part of the deal. Uncle Ben, Gwen, the people he couldn't get to in time. These losses always push him forward as the guilt becomes a part of the reason he suits up. But what if you flipped it? What if the most reasonable thing he could do was just stop? Ruby saying, "With great power comes great responsibility," wasn't a call for Peter to continue fighting. It was a call for him to hang up the coat for good. No more suiting up or fighting. No more giving bad guys a reason to hurt the ones closest to him. He didn't disappear because he fell apart. He disappeared because he thought it was the right thing to do. And that's what makes this Peter different. He quit because he thought everyone would be safer if he did so. And the name he chose when he walked away tells you everything you need to know about this Peter. Ben Reilly isn't the name he was born with. It's a name he chose in France after being bitten by this man-spider thing. This might be obvious to Spider-Man fans, but what isn't so obvious is why the show refuses to just say it. The reason this show goes out of its way to call him Ben Reilly, refusing to even mention the name Peter Parker, actually isn't a creative choice. It's a legal one. Sure, having two Peter Parkers in the same universe might confuse casual audiences, maybe. But then again, with multiple Marvel movies made entirely to explore the multiverse, I highly doubt it's the case. What's more likely is Peter Parker has limitations. Peter does not abuse alcohol. Peter does not use foul language. He shall not torture. He doesn't drink. He cannot smoke. He wasn't bitten by whatever this is. He doesn't wear a black suit. He doesn't get wasted. He got his powers as a teenager. And he does not, under any circumstances, get plastered and bash civilians to prove he's still got it. Spider-Man is a role model, but Ben Reilly, well, he can do whatever he wants. He operates in a world where the rules can be bent, quite excessively, with little to no consequences. This Peter just needs to go by another name, and you can tell the Peter Parker story any way you like. Well, that is, if you're Sony. And that's a part of the beauty of Spider-Noir. It's not really Spider-Man, but it doesn't matter because this is still Peter. Which brings us to, who is this Peter? Because this isn't the same Spider you saw in Into the Spider-Verse. That version is Peter Parker still, and Ben even tells you this himself in the very first episode.
Someone once asked me what universe this was. All I could say for sure was it was the only one I knew of. And that was as true then as it is now.
Same coat, played by the same actor, but a completely different Spider. Because you can change his name, you can change his universe, you can bury Peter Parker under a trench coat in 1930s New York and call him whatever you want, but he's still Peter Parker. And maybe that's the whole point of this show. It's not really asking who Ben Reilly is, it's asking something bigger than that. Can Peter Parker ever truly stop being Spider-Man? Because he's tried twice now in this show. Once in France, once after the death of his fiancée, and both times, the suit comes back on. Ben Reilly is Peter Parker, and no matter what name he goes by, Peter Parker will always be Spider-Man.
After all that, I get a newspaper to run, Morris wins, Flint gets the girl, and Janet gets a new office. What do you get?
A new lease on life?
I'll just settle for a really good sleep.